For the first time in many years, all representatives of the seven gathered in one hall, a full assembly, rarity, almost an event of historical scale. Such a thing had been impossible before. The first phase of Project Paradiso was still in active operation. The displacement of old regimes, suppression of reaction, elimination of resistance. Each corporation waged its own part of the war. Atlant built, Helios created, Viridia selected, Corvus cleansed memory, Arcadia suppressed, Neomark financed, Ether expanded borders. Now, when chaos had become controllable and political power had ceased to exist, it was time to take stock. All valuable assets, resources, territories, personnel, technologies had been gathered and consolidated under the Union's control. The world had become transparent, predictable, suitable for modeling. It was precisely for this that they met today, to record what had been achieved and to outline the next step. They were building a world not for everyone, but only for themselves. Contaminated lands, deserts, and permafrost did not interest them. Everything that could not be used or was too costly to maintain was subject to oblivion. Old cities were to be demolished by other hands, turned into sources of secondary raw materials. And where construction was unprofitable, the land was to be sown with forests, grass, and flowers. Everything that did not fit the new scheme had to be cleansed. People were relocated, rewritten, or simply driven out of the zones intended for the future. It was not cruelty for cruelty's sake. It was spatial engineering. The Union did not act impulsively, it designed. With other hands, it demolished the old and raised the new. It appointed contractors, issued tenders for factories, where trade and resource extraction served merely as cover. The true goal was the advancement of the Union's interests, reconnaissance, control, cultural, and technological influence. Their strategy was simple: to gather, to purify, to erase memory and history, and then to write their own version of reality, without mistakes, doubts, or alternative views. The world was being prepared for rewriting. Everything else, people, cities, memories, was to become material for the future. The administrative center of Sector 1 gleamed like a polished skull. The air was sterile, smelling of metal, the steady hum of filters. 40 people sat at a round table, but they spoke rarely. Here, every word was worth more than a life beyond the wall. The arbiter rose, and the city seemed to fall silent. The first phase of the project is complete. The old order has been destroyed. Politicians, out of the law. We have turned the page on history, on the hologram, ruins, crowds, fires, drones, the memory of a world that no longer exists. We began earlier than we should have, he said, but had we waited, the system would have collapsed. Now we are ready for the next step. The hologram flared with new lines, 3 colors, 3 tiers. We are creating the system, a society without chaos, without doubt. Every citizen will know their place and the price of their actions. 3 classes, 3 levels within each, rise or fall, determined by loyalty. He paused. The silence in the hall grew deeper than silence. At the head of this system will stand the Diamond League. No masks, no titles. Decisions, collective, power, absolute. We are not shareholders. We are the architects of a new world, those who cleansed civilization of the illusions of democracy. On the dome, the emblem flared, a polyhedron spinning in white light. We will create a generation that does not need control, because it will be the control itself. He turned to the map of the world. A tiny territory gleamed on it. Nemesia, the arbiter pronounced. The last state of the old type, not a threat or an opportunity. Nothing unites like an enemy. We will give the masses that enemy on screens, in the news, in their minds, to strengthen faith, to channel energy. He smiled faintly. Not a catalyst, an instrument. On the map, the Union spread like light through the dark. Factorias, trade routes, bases, a quiet expansion under the guise of salvation. We will give people not merely hope. Hope without direction is chaos. We will give them purpose and an enemy, so that they will never ask questions. He fell silent, looking at the city lights beneath the dome. We are creating order, he said. Not temporary. We are creating it forever. A short pause. Cold light. But not now. Everything in its time.